Welcome all from wherever you are watching us. This is your favorite channel, the Youth Space Media. And today we bring to you an exciting episode of Story Yangu. We've received requests from your side that we bring to you some of the young leaders of this nation. And you guess what? From this side of the Youth Space, you always say that your request is our command. And today we bring to you a story of one young man all the way from Kisii County, Nyaribari Chache constituency, who have fought all the odds to rise up to the presidency seat at the Co-Operative University of Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the amazing story of Collins Brandon Otundo. Join us today as we get to know who is Collins, what is he doing, what are his plans, and what is he having there for the people he's leading at the Co-Operative University of Kenya. This is the Youth Space, and this is Story Yangu. Join us through.
Kumbe ndio Ken.
Ni mimi bwana.
Vipi bwana? President.
Vipi rais?
Naona Youth Space imefika Ngonge.
Tumefika Ngonge leo.
Karibu sana.
Uko salama?
Niko salama.
Asante.
Sasa bwana Ken.
Aha.
Hapa ndio humble home ya kiongozi. Sasa karibu sana.
I can see na wazaona nyumba vile nakaa.
Yes,
hata ya kiongozi.
Hata Youth Space iko karibu, imekaribishwa kabisa.
Asante sana.
Sasa unaweza chukua kiti.
Asante sana.
Namna hiyo.
Thank you so much. Like we said that today we are going to do a story of the president of the Co-Operative University of Kenya, Collins Brandon Otundo. Na tumefika hapa tuseme mansion, presidential mansion, ama tumefika hapa, it's indeed the presidential residence. And we are with the president here, Bwana Collins Brandon Otundo. Some people call him generally, wengine wanamuita CBO Collins Brandon, wengine wanamuita kiongozi. But watu wengi wajui wewe ni nani. Story yako Collins Brandon ni nani?
That's a very good question. Collins Brandon Otundo is actually my name. I am a born Kisii, and Kisii by blood. Toka huko constituency inaitwa Nyaribari Chache. Nilizaliwa pale, nikasomea pale, na nikakuja university huko Nairobi in the year 2017. When I joined, actually unajua mimi sasa nilifanya mtihani ile wakati ya Matiang'i akatutingiza kidogo, and it really affected us. So nikaingia pale cooperative, nikaanza na certificate pole. That was the first year niliingia na nikaingia siasa. So kuingia sasa, I wanted to be a delegate, but I didn't make it to be one. So I didn't know the requirements to be a delegate, but with time I knew. I only participated in that year to campaign for the president who was vying then, and that was Mheshimiwa Moses Makinda, who is now an alumni of our university. And then I moved on to 2018, whereas I formed a team. That at that time I was vying for SecGen. I vied for SecGen by election, whereas I was fighting a person who was being supported by the government, which is the SGC, which was sitting, and I lost with one vote. That same year, I vie as an SG again with a team that we formed together with Mheshimiwa Wycliffe Mbaka, who was the former president. And at that time, I was disqualified because of a missing mark. Now, unajua vizuri, missing mark is not a disqualification factor. And then it came to 2019, when I had the requirements for vying were not suiting me. So I decided to support Mheshimiwa Franco Madai, who's the former social welfare, and Michael Sabuami, who's the former treasurer of our institution. And in that election, we lost badly, and it was painful. And then Corona happened, and Obiero became the president. Tukafanya kazi pamoja. Alafu kama hii mwaka hapo hii mwezi ya July, we had our election, and the students trusted me and gave me this hard mantle of being the president. because they believe that I will solve their problems. And now here we are today. I am now the president of the Co-Operative University of Kenya, up to next year, at a time like this when I'll be retiring. Yes.
So, Bwana President, from the history you've given, it seems you've been contesting, you've been into leadership. What has kept you, what has been driving you? You lost an election as an SD, you were disqualified, and you still continued vying until you became the president. What has been pushing you?
Bwana Kenbabu, they say leaders are chosen by God. And maybe I'm the lucky one. I've been chosen by God to serve and lead. And I'm also a go-getter. If I want something, I must fight for it until I get that thing. And this time around, it was my time. And I fought for it, and I got it. And also I want to serve the students of Co-Operative University of Kenya. Having been, the students are facing very many problems. We have issues of missing marks, transcripts, even school fees to other students. We want to come up with solutions which can serve the students very well during my regime. Thank you so much for the question.
So, Bwana President, umesema kwamba you are a go-getter, and leaders are chosen from God.
Yeah.
That's true. But biblically, for those who believe, we understand that it's true. Yes. But during your campaign period, it was said that you appear to be spending money. It appears that you spent so much than your opponents, and that might be one of the reasons as to why you took the day. What's your comments in that line?
Bwana Kimbab, that's a very nice commented question. People might have said that I used a lot of money to gain these votes. They also had money. You know, politics is a game of cards. And if you see there is something which you can use to get to this position, then you use it. Because all of us are leaders and good leaders. But there's one difference between all of us. And I used whatever I could do to make sure I'm in this position to serve the students. And even though they say that I used money, there are very many people who supported me willingly and made sure that I'm president. So even when you looked at when we were doing our rallies, I used to have the most numbers. Even the people who are from different tribes supported my bid to be president because they actually believed in me. We had Kikuyus vying, but there were Kikuyus who were supporting me. Like the chairman of Kikuyu, Frank Wamadhai, was supporting me, and yet their community had a candidate. We had Eric Omoni Kanina, my finance, who was supporting me, and yet the Luo community was in another party. We had the people from Ukambani, who were fully backing my support. We had people from my community, where I am the chairman, who supported me, whereas we had a vice president who was coming from also our community in another political party. So I want to say, people also believed in me, and people buy a product which is well marketed and it has good results. So to me, I believe my product was picked, and actually it is in order that I am the president and the legitimate one. Yes.
Legitimate president. I mean, so wewe unafaa. Ndio ulifaa kuwa pale na ushachukua kiti sasa, au wengine unawaambia aje? Your opponents and those who are not satisfied by you being in the seat.
You know, some of my competitors, you know, Zema, well, the people's president. I want to ask them and tell them, and them being competitors in an election, that in every election there must be a winner. And the winner is always one. And the rest who are there are losers. And they should accept the verdict which came. And if they truly have the interest of comrades at heart, they should come with those ideas to my office, wakuje tukae chini, tuunde strategy na mbinu ambayo tutatumia kuleta all their implementations, to implement all that they had, the ideas that they had for the comrades, to to act on them and to help these students, of which they claim if their core business is the students, if that is the case. Yes.
So, when Collins, you talked of you will be contesting for SG being the president. So let's keep aside the issue of presidency and stuff. Who is Collins Brandon outside, away from politics? Who is Collins Brandon? Your lifestyle and stuff. Who are you outside politics? Now we know as a politician, you are a president. You lead a group of people up to 10,000 students. Now away from the office, who should we expect?
Also unajua mimi ni mtu free na students. Kama ni kujibamba tunajibamba na students na hiyo. Kama ni STC tunafika pale STC. Kama ni kwa ground tunafika pale. And I'm also a student like any other. I go to class like any other student. And I do small hustles of mine like any other person. Just to sustain myself. In maisha ya Nairobi. Sio mchezo. So I am an easily reachable person. Even though people overrate me that kiongozi ni president ni nini, but that doesn't imply when I come back to the ground and I'm just a normal person. It's only that I'm holding an office for the students. Yes.
So Bwana Collins Brown Otundo, umesema umetupatia story yako all the way from Kisii na Ribai Chache, umeenda shule pale, umekuja high school, ukafika Cooperative University. Lakini tukirudi pale Kisii 2017, there was elections and there was one lady who was contesting for some serious position, Mheshimiwa Rachel Otundo. Can there be any connection between you and kiongozi on that side?
Okay. The woman we are talking about happens to be my mother, and happens to be the mentor when it comes to political businesses. It was the first time before I came to Copa, nilikuwa namfanyia campaign, hapo nilianza kumfanyia campaign pale in Chache. She was going to be member of parliament, where she gave 5 out of 10 contestants, and that's where that happens. That's where
that was the genesis of your political journey.
Yes, that was the genesis. Kuanzia hapo pole pole na niliingia kwa kama niko na ile moto.
Siasa.
Actually before I wasn't a political minded person. Nilikuwa just there. Lakini sasa naona out of my mother I am becoming someone as days go by. And I'm very happy for her. Now she's vying for governor.
So she's vying for governor. That is Honorable Rachel Otundo vying for governor Kisii County, and she is the mother to the sitting president Cooperative.
Yes.
So should we say that it's a family of politicians, or it's only the two of you surviving in politics?
It's a family of politicians because you never know.
Apart from the two of you, are there politicians?
Apart from the two of us, there is no other politician.
So we should expect something government to.
Yes, but my grandfather was a politician.
Okay.
Yes.
So as we wind up this first part of the interview, what are your thoughts as far as 2020 is concerned?
2022 is very near, and having been my mother is in the race this coming time, I will actually devote this time and help her in every way. Maybe I must contest in this political seats that will be in, but the time frame is what we don't know. We never know about tomorrow, and tomorrow is another day. So I want to say, for 2022, I will not appear anywhere, but for a later year, when the election will be there, nitakuwa pale kabisa full force, nikiwania kiti ambacho wakati nitakuwa nimefikiria nikasema hiki ndio yanifaa, and that will be it by that time.
So unasema 2022 utapiga debe nyuma ya mama?
Lazima.
Fully support?
Yes.
The candidacy of Mheshimiwa Rachel?
Yes. And I also want to add the students from Kisii University that it's high time we bring a change. They say that in a family, in a house, the mother prepares the food, puts the food on the table, ensure the man and the children have eaten before she eats. So now I want to
say for Kisii County, the people of Kisii County should be prepared to receive the food and eat the food
From Mheshimiwa.
from Mheshimiwa. And pia wazee nawaambia it's high time we put our caps down and tuchukue vitambaa tujifunge kwa kichwa.
Support.
Na to support mama 2022 Raila Otundo for governor, Kisii County.
This has been the youth space and this is my story. Ambia watu tunaenda break. After this we're coming back.
This is the Youth Space Media and we will be back after the short break.
This is the president of the Co-Operative University of Kenya, and this month of September, we've been having inter-institutional transfer, which is now open till the 30th of this month. We are urging students to please consider the Co-Operative University of Kenya, which is a great institution and the place to be. We offer various courses in degree, diploma, and certificate. If you want to consider the Co-Operative University of Kenya, click the link below to do your inter-institutional transfer before the 30th of this month. Thank you so much.
Welcome back once again. This is the Youth Space Media and this is Story Young episode. And we are here live from Ngong Hills at the residence of the president of the Co-Operative University of Kenya, Collins Brandon Otundo. Kiongozi, uko salama?
Salama kabisa.
Karibu tena.
Haya. Bwana Ken, niko salama. And I am really grateful and I appreciate today I've hosted the Youth Space Media hapa mji wa Ngong. Welcome again.
Asante sana kiongozi. So let's embark on your major role now as the president. You represent more than 10,000 students in the university, and there are issues that are coming up and down. What the mechanism that you've set up to address different issues affecting comrades as far as insecurities are concerned, issues dealing with missing marks, and probably issues of fees and arrears.
The main reason to why the president is there is to represent the students of the university that he is serving. And today I happen to be the president of Co-Operative. And you've asked of the issues of missing marks. You've asked of insecurities in Gataka. You've asked again about fees and arrears. Let me start by addressing insecurities in the Gataka, in the city where most of our students come from. Insecurity has been an issue for quite some time now, and it has been brought to my table severally. And I tried to talk to the inspector of that area and the police also. We are in conversations to come up with solutions which will help the students, because they say sometimes we might be talking about insecurities and yet there are students who are stealing or robbing each other, you see. So we are trying to come up with a system where we are going to handle this issue, and we're also going to sensitize the students on how they can be very careful when it comes to these things, because all of these insecurities and issues which happen during late night hours. I believe I've answered that question of security at that time, and now I want to move to missing marks. Missing marks is an issue which is really affecting not only our university, but very many universities, you see. And as I was telling you my story in the previous question that you asked me, I told you that I faced disqualification because of a missing mark, and this is something I want to fight completely. But in as much as I'm pushing from my end and pushing these lecturers to at least look for the marks of the students and put them into place for the students to move on semester by semester, or rather graduate and move on to other things, the student should also take it as an initiative to push the lecturer himself to ensure that ameweka pressure kwa huyu lecturer hadi lecturer anajua kuna majukumu ya kutafuta marks za mwanafunzi. So it's not only the initiative of the president, or rather the student leader. The student himself or herself should also look for these marks and follow up on the same with the faculty. We have HODs, we have the chairmans of the department, we also have the deans, they can provide solutions to us. But if we sit and relax and say, the president is working for me, or rather the finance, things won't work. If I push from my end, a student should also push from the other end. And let me also talk about the issue of fees and arrears. The issue of fees is an issue, and in my regime now, I believe we are in a political season, and I believe most of the time politicians wanatulenga sababu wanajua we are not in need of these people. But today they are in need of us because we only have roughly 1 year to the next general election. And I want to use this opportunity in my term to reach out to these various members of parliament, because we have various students coming from different constituencies in the wider Kenya. As you can see, me, I'm coming from Neribari Church. So my constituencies should be liable to also give me a bursary ya kusoma. So we're going to reach out to various members of parliament. I'm going to do that using the chairmans of different tribes, kukuja kujua watu wanatoka wapi, na tutafute jinsi ambayo tutapatana na wajumbe wa hiyo majimbo yao, tupate kuwaomba kwa huo msaada wa kutupea at least some bursaries to reduce the burden of our parents for the school fees. And also we have an initiative known as Jenga Comrade. This time around, unlike other years, we're going to do it and start it earlier. We're going to reach out to various companies and industries and ask them to at least contribute to us as we help our students in need in the Cooperative University of Kenya. Pia wao waendelee na ambitions zao, wapate kusoma, and also their life goes on. And I believe by saying that, I have satisfied many, and I've said what I can and what I can do in my capacity, because issues dealing with fees are complicated.
Okay.
Yes.
You heard the president elaborate on how he plans to address issues of fee arrears amongst the comrades, insecurities, and missing marks. And he has also urged comrades to also take an initiative to push for those marks from the lecturers. It is not an individual duty, but it's a collective bargain. So before we wrap it up, Mr. President, you are in the political field, as you can say, because looking at the National Assembly, it is made up of those young leaders who came from university, the likes of Babu, people like Ndini Nyoro, you have Nixon Korir. These are people who served at the student unions. So what is your general thought about the current national politics as it runs? We have issues of political parties formations are coming, and we are insinuating a coalition that might arise. We have the issues of Mount Kenya's people asking for the 40% share through Moses Kuria. As an individual, what can you say about all these that are going out as far as national policy is concerned?
I want to say, as the youths of this country, we are always used and dumb. But this time around, we want to be part of the people who are being considered in the case. I want to urge all the political leaders who are vying in this coming election that they should remember, we as youths, we have the largest number. We have the numbers. I also want to urge my fellow youths that we should all come together, fellow presidents from different institutions. We should come together and sensitize our students that if we are not considered, then we are going to consider ourselves by bringing one of our own, na pia sisi tujue tuko. In the BBI, which was previously presented, the youths must also be put there. We have to come up with a seat known as maybe the youth leader, which is the youth leader who sits in parliament. Not only nominated, but also elected. Because very many of the seats that we contest for nowadays, you can be wanting to contest for MCA today as a youth leader. But the people who come, the previous leaders who have been there, with a lot of money, and they sway the votes, and they end up being the MCAs. So I want to urge our leaders this time around, and our youth leaders, that we should vote with a lot of keenness, and remember to vote in the right person who's going to remember you. Let's not vote for people who are going to parliament, or rather the county assemblies, to sleep and not talk, but receive a salary, and also steal our money. So we need people to work up, and the youths, and I urge the presidents from each and every university in Kenya to come up with one movement ambayo tusaidiane, tushirikiane, na sisi pia tukumbukwe ya kwamba in the year 2022 the presidents of all universities came together and they gave the solutions to the youths. And we also want to tell the youth, the people who are calling themselves youths, when you are Peter hiyo miaka, they should desist from being youths. Waachie vijana wadogo kama sisi pia tukuje, pia sisi tupate kuendelea. And also the president of Kenya should remember that they are also youths, great minds and fresh minds. Instead of calling people from retirement to give them jobs, they are youths who are outside here suffering. And that is my take when it comes to the general political field come 2022. Okay. Yes.
Thank you, Sana Bwana President. From our viewers from wherever you're watching, it's been a great show. This is the Youth Space, and this was an exciting episode of Story Yangu. And today we were talking about, we were looking into the lifestyle and the achievements of the Co-Operative University of Kenya President Collins Brandon Otundo. And we've heard it all, you've seen it all. Subscribe to this channel, like, comment and share. I was your host, Ken Babu. Thank you.